So now here are some actual equations. So how are we going to use what we just learned to actually figure out the value of the variable, right? So here's a variable x, and here's how I figure out the value of the variable. I want the result of my equation to be x equals a number, because that will be the value of x. And so the question is, how do I do it? Well, I want x by itself, right? Here it is all by itself on one side of the equation. Well, here there's a 5 being added to it. Well, how can I get rid of a plus 5? What would I do to undo that plus 5 so that x was by itself? Well, the opposite of addition is subtraction. So what I could do is I could subtract 5. And look, if I subtract 5, then I get that magic x by itself, right, which is what I want. Well, okay, but then here's the question. If I subtract 5 on one side, what do I still have to do? I have to subtract 5 on the other side. Okay, because remember, I always have to do things on both sides. Subtract 5 on both sides. And what's that property called? It's called the subtraction property of equality. Right? And remember that property says that if I subtract the same number on both sides, then my equation is still equal. So plus 5 minus 5, it's canceled, right? This is 5 minus 5, this is 0. So I'm left with x, and then 7 minus 5 is 2. So this is my answer. X equals 2. I'm going to go ahead and check my answer. And the way that I do it is I'm going to see where x is. I'm going to plug in 2. So 2 plus 5 equals 7. Let's see. 2 plus 5 is 7. So then 7 equals 7. That's correct. Okay? So this is sort of a really long process for doing a one-step equation, but we're going to just do it for this sheet, right? And then from now on, we're going to be able to solve one-step equations really quickly, but also understand why it is that we solve them and why it is that we can solve them that way.